Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the remaining portions of preparation of alcohol. In the previous video we have discussed about how to prepare alcohols from alkenes. That is, we have used the method of acid hydrolysis, and then we also used the method of hydroboration hydrolysis in order to prepare two different types of alcohols. And also we reduced aldehydes and ketones with using certain catalytic hydrogenation and reducing agents in order to form our primary and secondary alcohols. And now in today's class we are going to discuss about two more methods of preparation of alcohol. That is, from third one, by reducing carboxylic acid. So carboxylic acids can be reduced using reducing agents such as lithium aluminum hydride and any other sodium borohydride or normal catalytic hydrogenations. But what happens here is, whenever you treat a carboxylic acid with a lithium aluminum hydride, it gives a better compound of alcohol, but the sodium borohydride is not good for that extent. In order to reduce carboxylic acid, it can be used for reducing the aldehydes or ketones. Okay. So now let us consider an example of reduction. So process 1, let us say RC double bond O OH. So when you treat carboxylic acid with lithium aluminum hydride in the presence of H2O, when you treat carboxylic acid with lithium aluminum hydride in presence of water molecule, it gets reduced to form RCH2OH. It always gives us primary alcohol. That is, carboxylic acid when treated with reducing agents such as lithium aluminum hydride gives us primary alcohol. But usually what happens is, lithium aluminum hydride is not a cheaper reagent. It is very costly. So therefore what we usually do is, we use a different process in order to prepare alcohol from carboxylic acid, in which first we treat a given carboxylic acid with a known alcohol, like for example ethanol or something like that. So let us say RCOOH is treated with an alcohol of R prime OH, where we know R prime, what is R prime? That is an alkyl or aryl group. So when a carboxylic acid is treated with the alcohol in presence of acids such as H2SO4, it forms esters. Okay, it forms esters, R C double bond O OR. So what happens here is, we are going to remove water molecule from this reaction. So RCOOH and R prime OH react with one another to lose a molecule of water in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, once this is done, we get an ester which is of the form RCOOR prime. So if a compound has this type of a structure, then it is called an ester. So this is an ester molecule. So this ester molecule on hydrogenation, gives us alcohol RCOH H. It provides hydrogen for those carbons, and further it breaks the bond between oxygen and OR and forms R prime OH. So which is what we have used in the first place. Okay, so this is how we can prepare alcohol from carboxylic acids. When you treat or reduce carboxylic acid using lithium aluminum hydride, we can get primary alcohol. Since the method of using lithium aluminum hydride is a costlier process, what we are going to do is, we first convert our respective carboxylic acid as ester and then hydrogenate those ester by hydrogen to form alcohol. So this is how we prepare alcohols using carboxylic acids. Okay. Next we are going to prepare alcohol with using Grignard reagents. So the fourth process of preparation, that is using Grignard reagent, is quite oftenly used method to prepare carboxylic acids to prepare alcohols from carbonyl compounds. So using Grignard reagent. Grignard reagents. So first of all, what is a Grignard reagent? So Grignard reagent is a compound which is of the form RMgX, where R might be alkyl or aryl group. So whenever you come across a metal that is a pure metal, alkali metal or alkaline earth metal, forming a covalent bond with carbon of an hydrocarbon, then that bond is called organometallic bond. Organometallic bond. The bond between hydrocarbon and a metal is called organometallic bond. So the compound which contains an organometallic bond is called organometallic compound. So this Grignard reagent is a type of organometallic compound where magnesium is the preferably used metal. So here magnesium has a slight positive charge as delta plus, and our hydrocarbon carries a slight negative charge because R and magnesium both are forming a covalent bond. In the same time, magnesium is forming an ionic bond with halogen X. Okay, usually it might be bromine or chlorine, not but fluorine or iodine. Grignard reagent usually carries two halogens, those are chlorine or bromine. So Grignard reagent is a compound where we have alkyl group attached with magnesium through covalent bond, and the same magnesium is linked with a halogen through ionic bond. Okay, so whenever you treat an Grignard reagent with a carbonyl compound, this Grignard reagent acts as a nucleophile. This particular Grignard reagent acts as a nucleophile. So what happens in this process is, let us say R, C double bond O, H. So this is a R, C double bond O, R prime. So now for this example, it may be considered as R might be equal to R prime, and if it is equal to hydrogen, R and R prime is equal to hydrogen. If R and R prime both are equal to hydrogen, then they on hydrolysis with Grignard reagent gives us primary alcohol. They give us primary alcohol. If R and R prime both are hydrogen, they give us primary alcohol. If R and R prime are same but not equal to hydrogen, if R and R prime are same but now they are not hydrogens, then they give us secondary alcohol. And further, if R and R prime not equal to hydrogen, if both R and R prime are not equal to hydrogen and in turn they are not similar, they also give us secondary alcohol. So usually what we can say is, if R and R prime are hydrogens, then they give us primary alcohol. If R and R prime are same, out of that, if one is hydrogen and one is not, if one is hydrogen, if R is a hydrogen and R prime is not an hydrogen, then that gives us secondary alcohol. If R is a hydrogen atom and R prime is not a hydrogen atom, then it gives us secondary alcohol. If R and R prime both are not equal, then they give us tertiary alcohol. If R and R prime both are not hydrogen, then they give us tertiary alcohol. We'll understand this concept while using some examples. So first we'll directly undergo some general reaction. So what happens in this process? So what happens here is, when you consider a carbonyl compound such as like this carbonyl compound, when treated with Grignard reagent, that is our RMgX, since R carries a delta minus charge, electrons will be attracted towards the R group. So therefore, this R group attacks the carbonyl carbon. Therefore, the double bonded oxygen gains a negative charge. The double bonded oxygen breaks the double bond and forms a negative charge. So which gives us RO minus Mg plus X. Okay. So this particular compound formed is called adduct. This adduct, when treated with water molecule, on treating with water molecule or on hydrolysis, forms alcohol, that is COH R plus MgOH X. So this is our desired alcohol molecule. So this is how the reaction takes place. So what happens here is, when you treat carbonyl compound with a Grignard reagent, the R present, that is the alkyl group present in the Grignard reagent, acts as a nucleophile and attacks the carbonyl carbon, which in turn breaks the bond of carbon and oxygen. It lets the oxygen to carry a negative charge. So this negative charge will be overcome by the positive Mg. So this particular compound is called adduct. This adduct on hydrolysis gives us our desired alcohol. So this is a general reaction. Now let us consider an example for preparing primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols. So now let us consider an example for the first one. What if R and R prime both are hydrogen? For the first example, example 1, C double bond O, H and H. So both are hydrogens. So what happens here is, when you treat an example CH3 MgCl. So when you treat CH3 MgCl, that gives us an adduct, that is CH2, because 2 hydrogen CH2, that is CH3 group attacked, the new CH3 group is present over here, and this O minus with Mgx with a plus charge. Okay, so this on hydrolysis gives us CH3 CH2 OH plus MgOH X. So if you observe here, the water molecule breaks down to H plus and OH minus ion. OH minus ion will be taken by Mgx and hydrogen ion will be taken by the O molecule, giving us alcohol. So if you consider over here, this is a primary alcohol. This is an example for primary alcohol. Now if you consider for a second example, if one of them is hydrogen, that means if you are considering an aldehyde. So C double bond O with hydrogen and a CH3 group. And if you are treating compounds such as CH3, CH2, MgBr. So in this particular example, the CH2 molecule will attack the carbonyl carbon and the bond forms an adduct, giving us CH, CH3 on one side and CH2, CH3, that is the Grignard reagent alkyl group, with O minus Mgx plus. So which on hydrolysis gives us CH3 C2H5 HOH plus MgOH Br. So this is our secondary alcohol. So this is our secondary alcohol prepared by using Grignard reagent. Now if you want to consider for the tertiary alcohol, let us take an example of ketone. C double bond O, CH3 with CH3 MgCl. So that gives us CH3 O minus MgCl plus so which on hydrolysis gives us OH CH3 that is our tertiary alcohol. So this is how we prepare primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol using Grignard reagent. Okay, so these are all the methods of preparation for alcohol. So first we use alkene, where we use two different methods of preparation. One is a hydroboration process, one is a acid hydrolysis. Later we use carbonyl compounds such as aldehydes and ketones. By reducing them we prepare primary and secondary alcohols respectively. And then we use carboxylic acids to prepare alcohols. And next we use Grignard reagent to prepare primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols. Okay, so this is all about the preparation. So now instead of directly going to the preparation of phenol, I thought of considering the phenol preparation in a separate video. We'll just now discuss about certain physical properties. So what you have to do over here is, you can continue this video now, or you can watch the phenol video which I'm going to upload tomorrow. and then you can come across this physical properties of alcohols and phenols. So now let us discuss about physical properties of alcohols and phenols. So alcohols and phenols, what we observe in quite common is both of the molecules have free hydrogen atom, right? It has a free hydrogen atom, which is quite not observed in case of ethers. Ethers don't have a hydrogen atom attached to oxygen atom. So phenols and alcohols which have a hydrogen atom attached to oxygen clearly involves the hydrogen bonding formation in the di molecules. So what we are going to discuss over here is in case of the physical properties. First we'll relate about the boiling point of alcohols and phenols with a simple hydrocarbon or haloalkane. Physical properties, out of that, first one, boiling point. So when you have to consider the boiling point of alcohols or phenols, let us consider a simple example of ethanol. Ethanol, that is CH3, CH2, OH, and we'll compare that with a simple hydrocarbon and a haloalkane. Let us consider hydrocarbon propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. Okay, so when we consider the boiling point of alcohol with a propane of similar molecular masses, if you consider for the molecular mass of ethanol, that is 15 plus 12, 27, 28 and 16, that will be 44. So molecular mass of ethanol is 44, whereas this is again 44. So this is 46, this is 44. Molecular mass of ethanol is 46 and molecular mass of propane is 44. So both of these have same amount of molecular mass, but they two have clearly quite a different value of boiling point. That is, boiling point of ethanol is 351 Kelvin. Boiling point of ethanol is 351 Kelvin, whereas boiling point of propane is 231 Kelvin. Sorry, this is 451 Kelvin. This is 321 Kelvin. So boiling point of ethanol is 451 Kelvin, and whereas the boiling point of propane is 321 Kelvin. So clearly what we can observe over here is the boiling point, even though their molecular masses are almost similar, has a complete variation of about 100 plus 100. That is because ethanol molecule has a OH bond, ethanol molecule has a OH hydroxy group, which results in forming hydrogen bonding. So therefore it requires more amount of energy to break the hydrogen bonding. If you consider just the carbon atoms present here, the carbon atoms will be attached with covalent bond. All the carbon atoms will be broken down using those covalent bonds which is present. But the covalent bond along with this propane, when compared to ethanol, we have ethanol having an additional type of bond, that is the hydrogen bonding. Therefore, even though both of them have the same extent of covalent bond, since ethanol has a hydrogen bonding involved in it, it has a very high boiling point when compared to propane molecules. So clearly what we can say is a point of hydrogen bonding involved in ethanols results in variation in the boiling point or melting point of a given hydrocarbon in case of ethanol and propane. Okay. Further, what we can clearly say is this boiling point depends upon the number of carbon atoms present. The boiling point depends upon the number of carbon atoms present in the given alcohol. That is, if the more the number of carbon atoms present, if more is the number of carbon atoms present in the parent chain, greater will be its boiling point. That is, the boiling point of alcohols increases with increase in number of carbon atoms. But what you have to consider over here is, it may increase with increase in number of carbon atoms, but it decreases with increase in branching. That is, the boiling point of alcohols increases with the increasing number of carbon atoms, but those carbon atoms have to be in a straight line, straight chain, but not in branching. If branching happens, then it results in decrease in the boiling point. Okay. So boiling point of alcohols depends upon number of carbon atoms. That is, if carbon atoms increases, boiling point increases. But it inversely varies with respect to branching possibilities. If more is the branching present in the alcohol, less will be its boiling point. Okay, so this is about the alcohols. Similarly, in case of phenols also, if the benzene ring or aryl group is attached to more number of substituents, that will be having a less and less boiling point. Solubility of alcohol. So, as we clearly can say that alcohols and phenols are clearly soluble in water, right? So, because if you consider an alcohol CH3, CH2, OH, the water molecule which contains oxygen atom starts to create an hydrogen bonding with the hydrogen of the alcohol. It exhibits hydrogen bonding with hydrogens of the alcohol. So therefore we can clearly say that alcohols and phenols are more soluble in water molecule. So alcohols and phenols are soluble in polar solvents such as water. But we have a complete problem over here is, if more is the number of carbon atoms present, if the number of carbon atoms increases in case of alcohols, what we are going to observe over here is the hydrophobic nature because of the organic carbon atoms increases. Therefore, the complete molecule starts to not to be soluble in water molecule. That is, if more the number of carbon atoms present, the solubility decreases because of the increase in hydrophobic nature of alcohols. As we know, hydrocarbons are hydrophobic. That is, they are scared of water. They won't be soluble in water molecule. Therefore, if more is the number of carbon atoms present in the given alcohol, then the solubility decreases. Okay, so this is all about for today. If you have any doubt, please do comment down below. And if you understood this concept, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.